Yes, so one of the things that everyone is struggling with right across the nation, there just isn't either A, enough houses available for people, and the second problem is there's just not enough land. I'm Dr. Tanya Bell, CEO of YOUTURN, and YOUTURN is an organisation that's based on the Sunshine Coast. Our primary objective is to support vulnerable people in our community. We also have mental health services across 5 different headspace centres, and we also provide the only national program around suicide bereavement support called Standby. We're a charity organisation that was started way back in 1989. In the early days, they were supporting maybe 5, maybe 10 young people in a really, really good year. Fast forward to more than 30 years now, where last year we supported almost 10,000 people. It's a really important service that we provide to our communities right across South Queensland. As an organisation that has housing and homelessness as one of the kind of key pillars of the work we do, we're always looking for innovative solutions. We saw our very first tiny house way back in 2019, and we walked into one of these tiny homes, turned to each other and went, "We need these. This is perfect. This is exactly what we've been looking for." So what we wanted to do was to find out who locally was doing these tiny houses. And Aussie Tiny Houses was one of the ones that we came across. The team are genuine in their intent to feed back to their communities. They're genuine in their intent to get the projects right. We have a unique group of individuals that we support. We needed to work with a provider that really listened to us and understood those specific needs of the people that we're supporting. We set about the design process really, really early on, talking to the team about, well, if we came on board with you guys, these are our requirements. We need to make sure they're safe. We need to make sure that they fit within our small and limited cost budget. We don't want people feeling like they're living in a storage container, that they actually feel like they're living in a home. That meant that these could be fully self-contained. It didn't mean that they had to park them next to somewhere that had laundry facilities or shower facilities. They could live in their tiny homes without need for any external services. So that was super important to us. We're limited by land space. That's just a reality. We're not going to all of a sudden create land from nowhere. And to think the money that we would have had to invest in housing the same families that we can do in 2 tiny homes on the same lot size is almost impossible. Might not be what everyone traditionally thinks about when you think about, oh, we'll put people in houses, but they have everything that people need and probably more than if you're living in an apartment or in a shared accommodation service. They're certainly well appointed, and you can create a sense of community in an already existing space. You don't have to put tiny houses in the middle of nowhere. They can integrate into already well-established communities, fill a nice niche, and still make people feel like they've got a little place to call their own.
What do I believe? What makes me feel it?
We have our head offices here in Toronto. We knew we had some community land available right next door. We approached the council and said, how would you be, if we put some tiny houses on the land? Because they are a mobile structure, if we need to move them, we can. It allowed the council to really consider, well, it's not a permanent structure. We're not using the land for anything else right now, so why not? One of the great things about working with Aussie Tiny Houses for this project is the sense of community that they had. They shared the same values we did, and when we do things in the community, we look for organisations that have the same passion, have the same drive, have the same values that we do. We knew these guys were part of our tribe, and so we were so thrilled last year to officially invite them on board as a corporate partner for YOUTURN. We couldn't have done this without the community. We had Ways of Kindness come on board and give a significant donation. So we offered Ways of Kindness the opportunity to name one of the houses, and they named the first house Kindness. House number 2 is now known as Community. If it wasn't for the members of our community, these houses wouldn't be here. So we now have House 1 and 2, aptly named Kindness and Community. If you're going to embark on a project like this, find your tribe, find people that share your values. Aussie Tiny Houses absolutely do. And I think that's really important because these things never go to plan. What you want is someone that will listen to you, work with you, step up above and beyond what's required to make these houses a reality. I couldn't recommend Aussie Tiny Houses more in that regard.